We now know more about the BlackRock spot XRP and Solana ETF. A smear piece from the block said that BlackRock wasn't interested in this. They're being called out on a huge scale today. Now let's find out what's going on and what we can expect. A person who works at BlackRock says that he is putting everything on the line to say that a spot XRP ETF is coming. In this movie, we'll talk about this and other things related to XRP. We're going to look at some Bitcoin maxis who can't stop talking about XRP near the end. We need to talk about this, right? That being said, here is the fix from Marty Party. This has been proven to be false after several discussions. Either the block writer made up the story or took it out of context and used it to support their own views. Solana and XRP ETFs are both being talked about with BlackRock. The time can't be confirmed. October is the last month to file. This is the write-up that spread the false report. Nate Garossi, this is proven nonsense from the block XRP, and spot ETFs on BlackRock apps are on the table for sure. This fake news was made up to trick all Ripple and Solana investors into following the block and blocking their reporter for the win. That's so hot. Okay, here is the piece that Sarah Wynn wrote. That's who this guy is for the win. It looks like she's getting a lot of hate. To give you a little more background on this story, the story going around the block that BlackRock had officially filed for or confirmed plans to start XRP or Solana spot ETFs is not true, and many reliable sources and market reports have shown this. BlackRock has not yet put in for any spot ETFs for XRP or Solana as of August 10th, 2025. The company made it clear that they have no plans to offer these ETFs right away. They also said that reports of official filings or approvals, like those spread by fake Delaware filings and some media outlets, were either made up or completely taken out of context. Nate Garossi, an expert on exchange-traded funds, ETFs, says that he thinks BlackRock will file for a spot XRP and Solana ETFs at some point, but there has been no communication or public filings yet. The SEC deadline in October was just the last day that these kinds of applications could be sent in. No confirmation or news about a real BlackRock file has been made. So October looks like the month when we'll find out if and when spot XRP ETFs will be allowed. This is also the time frame that BlackRock would need to file if they want to get into either XRP or Solana. So guys, this story is changing. It's hard for me to keep up with it here. And just so you know, if the news changes, I'll show those changes live on this station. Of course, I feel like one of those things, you know, at the dealerships or outside of the dealerships with the air and them moving around like that. That's how I feel right now. So this is Nate Garossi. You can follow him on YouTube if you want to. He runs Nova DS Wealth, hosts ETF Prime, helped start ETF Institute, and writes for the site. He is also one of the insiders who has been telling us a lot about a possible BlackRock spot ETF for XRP and other assets. He believes this, and he's risking his image by saying it. Yes, I believe BlackRock was waiting to see this before putting in for an iShares XRP ETF, he replied. I'll take the blame if I'm wrong, but it doesn't make any sense to me for them to ignore crypto assets besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. To do otherwise would be to say that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only ones that will ever be valuable, which is a very big claim. All of the Bitcoin maxis have put their money in a safe place, so we know that Bitcoin is now a way to store value. And when it comes to real use, Ethereum and XRP each have their own applications. Many groups and people are very interested in those properties. Since the beginning of the year, 1,300 ETFs have come out. 10 of the top 20 are crypto-related, and 4 of them are in the top 4 total. There are 5 spot Bitcoin ETFs, 2 spot Ethereum ETFs, 2 master MSTR ETFs, and 1 leveraged ETH ETF. This is the flow of money. The amazing thing is, does BlackRock really look at these numbers and think, holy crap, there's money to be made here? The Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs have already made them a lot of money. They could sell these items if their customers asked them to, so why wouldn't they? If you work at one of these companies like BlackRock, Merrill Lynch, or whatever it is, I keep asking you on this channel to ask them when they are going to offer these goods so you can take part. Have in mind that you have a voice and it's best that you use it. No, we're not going to offer those products is the worst thing they could say, right? You did say something though, so I know you got it. He says that this is from Digital Asset Investor and that he is the head of business in the US at 21 shares, Fedi Brocate or something. This year, our XRP and Solana ETFs pulled in more than $1 billion from outside of Europe. Just think of what this will be like in the US once these goods are approved. Let's get this done in 44 seconds. In Europe, there is definitely a need for goods that aren't Bitcoin or Ethereum. This year, the assets in our XRP and Solana ETFs from Europe grew by more than $1 billion. And you brought up smaller markets. Just think of what that will be like in the US once those goods are approved. Recently, strategies like Ondo, Sui, Doge, XRP, Solana, and 2 index products released last Friday all aim to keep an eye on the world's top 10 crypto assets. And so, for us, it all comes down to giving buyers the freedom and choice to say what they think about certain assets, and use the ETF as a way to do it in a way that is, as I said before, low cost, safe and clear. We can see that there is desire. Just to give you a little more knowledge about what he means with this. So the amount of money that has been invested in XRP ETFs around the world so far is only part of the story. US-based XRP ETFs that are based on futures. As of August 2025, around $1 billion has been put into futures-based Solana and XRP ETFs around the world. Most of these goods have been on US exchanges since April and May 2025, even though they were first released earlier in 2025. They are backed by futures contracts. Some physically backed XRP products have been around for a while in other countries like the 21 shares AXRP ETF in Switzerland and plans in Canada, but they don't have a lot of assets. And to show this, it gives us the 21 shares XRP ETP, which is an electronically traded product, right? There are ETFs and ETPs. ETPs are just more popular online traded goods around the world. ETFs, or exchange traded funds, have really become the rule in the US. XRP ETPs say they control between 40 and 60 million euros worth of assets. Based on recent data from the European market, this will help you understand what we're talking about.